All right, this lesson is on evaluating functions, and it's a no calculator lesson. Remember the exam, the first part of it will be no calculator, and these are some of the types of questions that will be on the first part of the exam. So you need to go ahead and get used to how to do them without a calculator. So problem number 1. Given f of x equals 5x plus 9, what is f of 8? So this is called function notation, and one way to think of f of x is just like a y equals. So y equals 5x plus 9. Now, what you want to do, whatever they have in parentheses is going to go in for x. And the reason for that is originally in the parentheses was an x, and now in the parentheses is an 8. So we're going to build our frame. So we're going to do y equals 5 empty set plus 9. So wherever the x is, you put an empty set of parentheses. And in this case, we're plugging in the number 8. Now, we have to do this without a calculator. So remember, parentheses mean multiply, so we're going to do 5 times 8. So remember, you can count by 5s on your fingers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So you get 40, but you also have to add 9 to it. So what is 40 plus 9? 49. So that's the answer to number 1. All right. Number 2, given f of x equals 10 minus 2x, what is f of negative 1? So once again, wherever the x is, you're going to build your frame. You put empty set, so 10 minus 2, empty set of parentheses. Wherever the x is, put empty set of parentheses. All right, in this case, we're plugging in negative 1. Now remember, you have to do parentheses first for please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So you have to do parentheses first. So we're going to do negative 2 times negative 1. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 times 1 is 2. Drop down your 10. Now you need to add 10 plus 2, so that equals 12. Number 3, find f of negative 4 if f of x equals 2x minus 7. So let's build our frame. 2 empty set minus 7. And we're going to plug in negative 4. Okay, first thing you want to do is multiply 2 times negative 4. Positive times a negative is a negative. And 2 times 4 is 8 minus 7. All right, negative 8 minus 7. I don't know if you remember the negative positive chart we did at the beginning of the year. 8 is negative, 7 is negative, and you line up, add up, which gives you negative 15. All right, number 4, given g of x equals 2 to the x minus 1, what is g of 3? So we're still going to build our frame, but if you notice, x is an exponent up high. So we're going to plug in a 3. So it's 2 to the 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd power means 2 times 2 times 2, and then we're going to minus 1. So 2 to the 3rd power means 2 times 2 times 2 minus 1. So let's start with 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 1 equals 7. Okay, number 5. Given h of x equals 3 to the x minus 2, what is h of 2? So let's build our frame. 3 to the parentheses minus 2. We're going to plug in 2. All right, 3 to the 2nd power. That means I write it twice. 3 times 3 minus 2. All right, 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 2 equals 7. Okay. Number 6, what is f of 2 if f of x equals 4 to the x plus 5? So build my frame. I'm going to plug in a 2. All right, so that means I write it twice. 4 times 4 plus 5. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 5. 16 plus 5 is 21. Number 7, the charges for Smarty Pants Tutoring Company are represented by the function f of x equals 50 plus 10x, where x represents how many hours they tutor. How much do they charge for 10 hours of tutoring? So let's build our frame. All right, and we need to double check, since this is a word problem, what x is. So x represents how many hours. X represents how many hours. Well, what number do they give you for hours? 10 hours. So x is hours, and we have 10 of them. So in the x spot, I'm going to put a 10. Okay. All right, remember to do parentheses first. So 10 times 10 is 100. And then we need to add 50 to it. What is 50 plus 100? 150. Okay. Number 8, Verizon charges according to the function f of x equals 2.5x plus 35, where x represents the number of minutes you talk on your phone. How much would your bill be if you talked for 2 minutes? So I know it's kind of hard to see because it got cut off, but x represents the number of minutes. So let's build our frame. So in the x spot, I have to put in minutes. Well, how many minutes did I talk? I talked for 2 of them. All right, so we have 2.5. That's 2.5 times 2. So if you have 2.5 pizzas and you do that twice. So let's say you eat 2.5 pizzas on one day, and then you eat 2.5 pizzas on the next day. So you eat 2.5, and then you eat 2.5. How many total pizzas have you eaten? You've eaten 5. So now we need to add 35, which gives us 40. Okay. All right, number 9. The function C of m equals 3m plus 10 represents the cost to rent m movies a month from an internet video club. If the cost is $31, how many movies did you rent? All right. Okay, so I know the first thing you're going to want to do is build your frame, because that's what we've been doing all day. But the problem is, M is movies. M is movies. How many movies did you rent? How many movies did they tell you? Well, they don't. They don't tell you how many movies you've written. So we don't know what that is. So you can make it an M, you could use an X, but we don't know. What do we know? We know the cost is 31. So C stands for cost, and that's $31. So 31 goes over here. So you've got to really pay attention to what they give you. So on this one, I'm going to draw my line, and I'm trying to get M by itself. So 3 and M are best friends, so you want to leave them together. So you want to get rid of the plus 10. So you're going to minus 10, gives you 21. And drop down your 3M. Okay, I'm still trying to get M by itself. So these are being multiplied. What's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. Okay, all right, let me count by 3s to see how many it takes to get 21. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 7. Okay, so what we just found is 7 movies is how many were rented if your cost was $31. Okay. All right, the function f of x equals 5x plus 30 represents the monthly phone bill in dollars, where x represents out-of-country calls. If Alexa's phone bill is $50, how many out-of-country calls did he make? So if you set up your frame, remember to not just automatically plug in numbers. You got to double check, since it's a word problem, what X is. So X is out of country calls. How many out of country calls did he make? We don't know. So we're just going to have to leave it in X. Well, what do we know? We know his phone bill is $50. That's how much he had to pay total. So let's draw our line. We're trying to get X by itself. So you want to move plus 30, make it minus 30. Drop down the 5X. These are being multiplied, so we want to divide. Right? X equals 4. What does that mean? It's 4 out of country calls. Okay. Suppose that the function f of x equals 2x plus 12 represents the cost to rent X movies a month from an internet movie club. If Zach's total cost is $20, how many movies did he rent? So I have a function, and I want to see what X represents. X is movies. Well, I don't know how many movies he has, so I'm just going to have to leave it in X. I do know the total is $20. All right, what do I need to do? Need to draw my line, circle X, and let's get a plus 12 minus 12, gives you 8. And opposite of multiply is to divide. Well, 2 goes into 8 4 times. What is the 4? 4 movies, and that cost him $20.